Talk Shoe.
Recorded live.
Welcome to the Lost Slowdown, the reaction podcast. I don't know. We need to give it a name. I don't know what it should be called.
Yeah.
The
Naming
IRP.
things is always a problem. What did
How about
you say?
the ERP? The IRP.
The ERP.
The LLD ERP. If that's not catchy, I don't know what's catchy. No, that's bad. I was thinking initial reaction podcast, but that's pretty bad. So Justin and I are going to try this thing where we just sort of talk about, in a very general way, our initial reactions to the latest episode, The Constant, before our real podcast. So this one's going to be short, ladies and gentlemen. No need to buckle your seatbelts and strap in because
no.
This ride won't be bumpy and it won't be fast.
No, you want to leave your seatbelt unbuckled for this one.
Yeah.
This is a trip to the store. This is not a road trip.
This isn't a road trip across the country. We're just going down the street to the post office. No worries.
Yeah.
Even though they're going to raise the price of stamps again, but nobody seems to care. That's all right. So I loved it. Your turn.
Awesome. Yeah, I honestly, my reaction was slightly mixed. I liked it. I certainly thought it was better than last week. But I personally like the first three better.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. Call me crazy, but like the difference between this and last week is huge. So it's it's not like it's just right above last week, but I really did like the first three better. I don't know. Something about it just
I can tell you what it is.
It didn't pull me in as much. It didn't.
Desmond storyline?
Yeah.
Which is to say the whole episode?
Right. Which I did like it. It's just I don't know, like the way people are gushing about it, I'm not quite as like taken by this whole thing.
Well, you know what
many people are.
You know what I love about it, and I'm glad I didn't read this. You know, on Lostpedia they have like the little episode titles and like the little short description of them, and I every time I see that page, I try not to read it, and I'm glad I didn't because it tells you exactly what's happening. So I think that was there last time. Anyway, what I liked about this, and I think I definitely like The Constant more than Eggtown. I think I liked it more than The Economist because I liked a lot of The Economist, but it didn't have, some of Saeed's part, I was just like, whatever. I guess I'm going in reverse order here. Confirmed Dead, that was pretty good, the beginning of the end, all good, but like what The Constant does for me is, and what the first three did, sort of giving answers when usually Lost doesn't give answers. I thought The Constant almost never backed down when it was time to give an answer. I just have to watch it again. But those times when it's like, oh, we shouldn't tell them. No, tell us. And then like some other distraction comes up and they never get told. Well, in this episode, they get told. Yeah. And like, I really feel like I posted this on the forum. I really feel like a lot of the goodness of this episode has to do with the fact that Dan is kind of driving things. He's in a certain way, and I feel like having a scientist on the show who's there to get answers means that we get answers too.
Yeah, that's what we've always been needing. A long time ago, we talked about that. How are they ever going to discover whatever blah, blah, blah thing about the island? No one there is equipped to know, nor do they really care.
Exactly.
And so this character really does that job. And also just like his personality. He's something. I don't know. His strange way of expressing himself. And, I don't know. It's nice.
Jeremy Davies, man, best new Lost actor ever, I think.
Yeah.
Best addition to the show since they've added people to the show, almost.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Desmond's story, I thought the whole, I'm tired of the whole Penny thing, but I think for me, I would give this episode, 4 out of 5 or something, or an 8 out of, 10 or something, which is the same. But,
you want to talk about ratios? Yes, that is the same.
I think for me, what takes it down a couple notches, it's just sort of the Penny thing. It's sort of, like something with Desmond's sort of part of it I didn't really love, but all the stuff with Dan I loved, and in general, like what's going on, I thought was great. I mean, we're getting a huge piece of the puzzle in terms of what's going on with the island. I mean, this ties together, so many things, I think, and explains a lot. I think I almost want to close the book on the sickness now. Like, I feel like in like Rousseau's backstory about killing her team, I feel like now we have a real reason why she could have done that and thought they were sick. Now we have a real reason why Dharma was inoculating people, because I think the vaccines were like anti-radiation vaccines. Like, now we have something we can plug into these holes. And like and it's a lot of holes we can plug with this episode, and that's why I love it, because I'm like, wow, they're really giving us stuff. This, every episode I'm like, wow, this really is the beginning of the end. Like they really are wrapping things up.
Yeah.
And in that first scene when they're in the helicopter ride, I would have never thought we would have seen so much of their helicopter ride. And it makes sense now that I see what kind of story they're telling. But I thought, oh, well, we'll see them land or something, or, and this was especially before I knew that there was going to be some sort of problem with them getting there. But the whole thing, and then the matter of fact, basically last episode, I guess, Jack and them were like, well, they've been gone a long time. We haven't heard from them. And the very next episode, we get the reason why, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's great.
It is.
And he just tells them, and it's great. And now we get a better sense of what's going on, and I guess we should talk about, we should revisit our time theories here, because
totally.
Now we know that the time on the island, you do experience it longer than the real world time, which
I don't know about that. There are some problems.
We got 2 minutes before our short podcast is up.
There are some problems, and we got to get into them probably more seriously. But I think I'm concerned. For example, if time's moving slower on the island, then it should have seemed like they got there really fast, not really slowly, and so that's troubling me.
But if you're on the island, it's weird. If you're on the island and it's like, wow, it's taken them a day and we haven't heard from them yet. But in the real world time, it took them, what did he say, 20 minutes or something like that? See, that's what I was trying to explain before, and I guess I'm not doing a good job, because I think it is just sort of, it doesn't really make sense. But it's like your perception of time, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the difference, is their perception of time is what's moving slow.
Yeah.
And not actually time is moving slow.
And the other thing is, there was a calendar on the boat. It's the right date. It doesn't appear that this boat is in the future, So that whole theory got sort of killed when they saw the calendar.
Well, don't forget that he did go, I think you asked when we were talking about this whole thing, that if you left the bubble, that whole thing about when you leave the bubble, does it send you back when you left kind of thing, or, we kind of talked about that, and I would say that's how I would explain that it's the same, that it's the right time that they get back to, is because they went on pretty much the right vector, or I guess maybe they did go on the right vector, and Desmond's problem was just because he, had the radiation from the years of being next to the electromagnetism and being in the failsafe implosion. So
right.
I think that sort of supercharged him. But we got 10 seconds.
Wow. I don't know what to do with 10 seconds.
I don't either. Maybe we should extend it or something.
The penny centricity of it all is okay with me. I think that part of the story works better than it should. For some reason, that kind of story I feel like should be awful, but
they made it work.
They pull it off somehow. Yeah, it doesn't feel as corny as it would, I think, with maybe other people in the same kind of story.
I was so surprised when Dan was like, you need to go find me. Like, luckily he's smart enough to be at Cambridge during that time, you know.
Yeah.
What a coincidence he wasn't like in America somewhere.
Right.
But but like I was like, holy shit! Like, what? Lost is gonna do like this time travel thing, or like, you know, he's gonna relay messages and do things, you know, because he can time travel basically, you know, mentally, I guess. Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy when he's like, you need to find me and I'll help you or something. And I'm a little, I don't love the fact that, coincidentally Dan was working on this time experiment. I mean, obviously it makes sense since he's there in the future and that's probably why he's there. But like, I just thought that was a little too convenient that right when Desmond shows up, here's this experiment ready to go.
That's 100% relevant to the story.
Yeah, and the first time he does it on the mouse actually goes to the future. Because if the mouse goes to the past, he wouldn't have been able to prove what he proved then.
Yeah.
You know, because the mouse wouldn't have been able to run the course, and it would have just been like, okay, whatever, I don't know what happened. But the fact that it could have went to the future, but not enough in the future to where it learned the thing. So it's like, you know, they got lucky on that first try that it went far enough in the future where it learned the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I thought that was a little contrived, but, you know, it
was.
makes sense.
And I couldn't help but be reminded of the series finale of Star Trek The Next Generation that had a similar construction. I guess the only way they could make it closer is if they had Desmond go into the future also.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, him sort of mid-sentence skipping in time. That's exactly, and then like, you know, you got to do this when you go back, you know, like that kind of thing. Like that's exactly what the series finale was like. And, I don't know. I didn't realize. I was like, I know I've seen this before, and then it occurred to me, like, yeah, that was when they did that, you know. And I liked it then, and I like it here too, but still, it's weird.
And the whole thing with Minkowski, you know, that was cool. Like, it was
Minkowski.
It's like, who would have thought that's what was going on?
Not me.
You know, like, and I feel like I should have guessed that whatever was going on with Minkowski should have been related to the island, but I just was like, I just have no idea what's going on.
I thought he was a traitor, and they had like, I thought he might have been Ben's man. I thought there was all kinds of shit going on, and it was that was not what I didn't think we'd meet him. The other thing is, like, I felt like because Desmond lost his memory and had this mission to do, you know, I felt like we got less out of the boat than I wanted. I wanted more. I know they gave us stuff, but I wanted more out of the boat.
Oh, but we'll get more. I mean, and the whole thing about, you know, this, like, the friend on the boat and all that stuff. You know, I feel like, we're, you know, I didn't watch the Fine 815 thing, but I feel like, you know, the fact that there's this, like, hidden person on the boat doing stuff, I feel like that's very, like, interactive, like, you know, mystery or something. You know, I feel like, ooh, who is this person? And, like, it's like they're helping us, you know, solve this mystery, you know, on this thing. And I feel like for some reason that puts us in more in the show now that, I don't know, now that there's this person helping Sayid and Desmond and them, like, anonymously. Yeah. It feels very weird. And, you know, it could be Michael, it could be Walt, it could be anybody else, I guess.
It reminded me of Alex pretty much pulled that move with Jack in the Hydra. It can't be Alex, but...
No, 20 seconds.
That's what it reminded me of. What, 20 seconds? Man, see, I'm just not a pressure guy. Like, if I'm taking a test and it's like 20 seconds left, I'm getting nothing done.
And now you're wasting it. Okay, let's cut it off at 16 minutes. I think it should be a number for no rational reason.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
Last remarks.
More on this later, of course.
Of course. But this is the thing, like, I don't know how people do an hour podcast because we've done 15 minutes and haven't said anything.
I know. Nothing has happened yet. What? How can you be done? I remember Big O used to do those, like, 8-minute podcasts.
Yeah, you don't have anything to say.
What is he doing? Yeah, you can't get anything done. It's completely...
All right, 30 seconds.
Oh, Jesus, not again.
All right, guys, so basically, our real podcast will come this weekend. Stay tuned to that. This was just a reaction. Justin, out of 10, how do you rate this episode?
I would give this episode a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10, okay. Yeah. And I give it an 8. Is that what I said?
All right.
I think obviously we really disagree, and we'll never come to any consensus.
There's just no common ground here.
No. That half of a point there it's unreachable. We've gone over 16 minutes. Thank you and namaste.
Namaste. Good luck. See you later.